Is the member calling?
Yes, Mr.
He is.
Speaker.
Thank you. I call the honourable member Raymond Ho.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. Crime affects the society and, in that regard, everybody else. But the victim, who is on the receiving end of the crime, pays the ultimate price. Any member who has been exposed to the media reports should support this bill, and it is regrettable that the good work by the former Justice Minister, the Honourable Simon Power, has not been continued in an effective manner. It is disappointing that it took more than a year and a half for the bill to be read for the second time after it was reported back from Justice and Electoral Select Committee. Now, under the Labour government, the Justice and Electoral Select Committee conducted an inquiry into victims' rights in 2007. The inquiry highlighted some of the issues that have been eventually addressed by this bill. There are some problems with our justice system. Our adversarial criminal system is bipartite, and the problem is that it seems to recognize only the accused and the prosecution. It is not fair to the victims and their families. Victims feel marginalized by the court system, and the anguish is often exacerbated by the justice process and the adversary criminal process system. Victims and the families have to deal with the ongoing trauma, and often they have to deal with that long after a crime has faded from a public memory. Or borrowing Mr. Power's words, with the state prosecuting offenders on behalf of the victims and the community, victims can feel sidelined. He said victims can find the criminal justice system bewildering and have expressed frustration and a sense of helplessness in the face of a system that is slow and unresponsive to their needs. We have been exposed to a number of such media reports. At the moment, victims of violence and other serious offences must ask permission from the judge to read out victim impact statements. They are often banned from mentioning a range of details, and some victims have been left upset after police or a judge heavily edited or censored their statements. The victims were also critical of the limitations they faced in the court when preparing the victim impact statement. They believe the victims should have the right to say what they felt in the victim impact statements. The bill will give victims more freedom to express their feelings in their own words. The bill makes it an automatic right for victims to read a statement before sentencing. The victims of a crime committed by a child or young person can now submit a statement to the youth court and attend a hearing. A victims' code will be established, and police, corrections, Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Social Development, Labour Department, Crown Law Office, etc. will all have to adhere to. And after hearing all these different organizations and ministries that are not synchronized in any way, it does make sense that this bill seeks to set up a victims centre as a one-stop shop for services. I agree to what the former Minister of Justice, Mr. Simon Power, said, that we could never legislate away the pain and suffering faced by victims. However, the reforms introduced under this bill will help ensure victims are not re-brutalized by their participation in the process.
I call the honourable member Jan Logie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.